Hi all and welcome to my channel. In this tutorial we'll be covering how to provide full maintenance for your snowboard. So this will include cleaning, and for cleaning we would need paper towels, base cleaner, rotary brush, assembly with the electric screwdriver, a small base repair with P-Tex. For that we will need P-Tex itself, candle to light it, file, metal scraper, and the tape to protect other areas of the snowboard where we don't want hot P-Tex to be applied. We will also cover waxing. For waxing we would need wax like this universal one from Toko, plastic scraper, and the iron. We'll also tune edges a bit to make them nice and sharp again. And we will be using Capita Super DOA snowboard to perform all these activities. So first and foremost we start with personal protection, and I would really recommend to wear the face mask because some liquids like this base cleaner is toxic and you should not inhale it, as well as basically dust from the wax when it's being removed with the rotary brush is also not good for your lungs. For sure eyes would need some protection, and hands with some gloves like this here we would definitely need. I will leave links down in the description for all items I have here at the table, and we will start with assembly of the rotary brush, which I've bought on Amazon, and it just makes the whole cleaning exercise, polishing, so much easier and so much better. So I would definitely recommend. This item is pretty expensive and it was not supplied with accessories, so I had to make some life hacks of my own, like buying some nuts and bolts in the local hardware store. I will also provide specs in the description to connect basically the rotary brush with the drill. And as a handle I just use normal IKEA handle from the screwdriver, and it fits perfectly here and works pretty well. So basically to come up with this connector I use the standard bolt and 3 nuts, and then put it in my rotary drill and make it tight. Like this. And then basically we can connect our rotary brush to the drill. And you can see it spins. Unnecessarily. And it goes like this. So today I'll show you the hot wax cleaning technique. For that we would need an iron, plastic scraper, wax. I will use this basically cheaper wax to make the hot cleaning, base cleaning, and then apply this more of a top-notch quality wax for actual riding. It will allow also to inspect how the base will look like after cleaning and waxing, and whether we would need any small repairs with PTEX or not. Now, I prefer to use the crayoning technique. Basically, when you apply wax with the hot bar of wax itself, not really dripping it. So I think it's more efficient and consumes less wax, so you can really use it longer and consume less. I will also leave some videos in the description from other people who use the same technique, and they all find it better than the usual dripping technique. So just make sure there is a layer of wax all the way. Basically, yes, I think it's ready. For the temperature, you should use the one which is specified the wax itself, normally on the package, like this. For instance, this one has a temperature of 130 degrees Celsius for your iron. I'll stick to this recommendations from the manufacturer. Just go up. So now, when the wax is still hot, I will use the plastic scraper, like this one from Toko, for example, to remove all the wax. So we will do it nice and smooth with a small angle like this, with sideways movements in these directions. Really careful and not applying too much pressure, not to damage the base. We are removing all the excess wax while it's still hot, together with any dirt, grease and other unwanted elements which can interfere with the material of the base of your board and negatively impact your riding. By the way, after waxing, I see that the damage to the base is really minor, and I will not do any PTEX repairs, and would also not recommend to you, because it is the high-end base, and after repair most likely it will not ride so perfectly smooth and fast as it used to be. I'm gonna use the rotary brush, so it's the horsehair brush, the softest of all brushes, which I also like because it is very unlikely that it will damage the base. Like, for instance, brass rotary brushes, you should be really careful applying it to the base, because the force of rotation is powered by a drill, can be something really too much, and it can easily damage your base. As you will see, the horse brush is doing a perfect job, much better than basically any manual brushes can do. So I highly recommend to invest some money in it, although it's costly, like 60 euros or dollars, depending on the location where you are. But it really pays off if you do the waxing exercise quite often, which is really recommended if you have one of the higher boards with a sinter base, like this Capita I have. So you should ideally do it every 3 to 4, after 3 to 4 times you ride it on the snow, you should do it. Especially if you do some indoors riding or ice or slush, not perfect snow conditions, it can really damage your base, as well as waxed base will ride much faster and your board will give you much more pleasure, much longer. I'm quite happy with the scratches. They are smaller ones. I was a bit afraid this is a bigger damage done, but it's okay. Cool. Unnecessarily. And it goes like this. And it's done. So let's start base cleaning. First we need to open this small plastic bottle. I remind you to wear glasses and face mask. We apply a bit, also gloves from the paper towel, and start cleaning the base like this to remove all the remainders of the old crappy wax, able to apply new. So now let's apply our racing wax. It's 3 times more expensive and should also provide better performance. I also recommend to wear the face mask, because it seems to me there is some additions, chemical elements to make it faster. The only part I would probably go with dripping is along the edges. Yeah, I do enjoy to work with this wax. It's amazing. Absolutely amazing. Costs 3 times as much as Toko, but I think it is worth of every penny you pay. So I recommend to leave the snowboard overnight, just to let it cool down and absorb all this magnificent wax. It's time for some scraping, and not everybody actually knows a very useful feature, a little step here, like this one from Toko, which you can use to effectively and efficiently clean your edges from excessive wax. We put it with the step on the edge like this, then just apply some pressure and your edge is nice and clean. Another good tip, there are some areas where there is simply too much wax, like in the tail and the nose area. Here I can see it, so it would be really hard to scrap it all off. So what I will do, I will use the hot wax scraping technique I showed you before in this video, just to make it an easier job. And the whole other areas I will do just like normal scraping combined with the rotor brush of the horsehair, so that the base would be clean and shiny, really perfect and ready for the ride. So now that the iron is hot at 120 degrees Celsius, which is indicated by the green lamp, I will melt this excess wax just a little bit. Like this, and then it's much easier to scrape it off. Another good tip to reduce amount of mess in your workshop, you can use a cardboard box like this. Just put it in the end of the setup, so it will collect all the scrapped off wax pieces. And then the hardest part of the whole exercise is to actually scrap. Right, so as I said, use a small angle like this and just go. So it's time to sharpen up those edges. That you would need a universal edge grinder like this from Toko, a little can of glass with water and some toilet paper. Actually, it's a method which I learned from Neve Lapfoot from Snowboard Addiction, and I will leave a link down in the description for your reference as well. Basically, it's very simple, effective, and good for just maintenance kind of sharpening the edges. So I will not change the angle or make a substantial grinding or sharpening. I will just remove some rust and some burst just to make it consistent, and good to go to ride. Make the same angle as the edge goes, like this, just a little bit, not too much, not to distort the factory angles of your edges, because then it will not ride the same, and that's something we don't want. Nothing crazy, just a little bit. And then you don't want any of the metal little scraps and shards to interfere with your base. Therefore, you just take a little water like this on your toilet paper, and you go like this and one edge, and you can see it basically gathers all the dirt. And then you can also check just with your hand if edges are consistent, so you should not feel any inconsistencies. So the end result is satisfying. The base shines and glitters, looks like a mirror. With a thin layer of wax, it would be awesome. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video soon.